Hey there, it's Christian from Seven Gaming Network, and I'm very excited. I recently managed to get hold of Sword and Sorcery and have played through that, and I'm very excited about the game and the system, and I'll do a bigger review on it. But I noticed that there's not much on the expansion packs that you can get for it, mostly because they're pretty hard to get hold of right now and lots of things are on pre-order. However, there are two things I have managed to get my hands on, and that is Onamor, who is the sort of necromancer and summoner. I've also managed to get my hands on Victoria, who is the captain slash pirate. Now, reading through these really excited me to get them into the game, and so I thought what I'd do is I'd just give you some impressions on that sort of unboxing and just what I got to see. So first of all, we'll go through Onamor, because I'm a massive fan of anything necromancer or summoning type characters, and that's exactly what this guy is. It's got a little bit of blurb there. Now, the necromancer, just to clear it up, is the dark, the evil choice, and the summoner is the lawful choice. Okay. So you get a little pack of punch outs. It's just little bits of extra. There are a couple of extra things on here. We get some skeleton tokens, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. Let's have a look at the miniatures, and then let's get into the powers, because that's where it starts getting really quite exciting, especially with this character. So in this set, really quite nicely, it comes with it comes with the ghost form of the character, but also it comes with two extra characters. Now, these two extra characters are creatures that you can summon. Okay, so you have a Night Walker and you have an Ifrit. Now they're quite nice sculpts. In terms of the overall quality of the character sculpts in Sword and Sorcery, like, they're pretty good. They're not Cool Mini or not. They're not Games Workshop. But they're still pretty cool and they're quite nice, even if they could be slightly better quality. What I really like about this pack is you are getting 4 models in there, and I think in most of the hero packs it is only going to be 2. So this feels like extra good value in this pack already anyway. But let's get to the exciting bit of this. Let's have a look at what the necromancer version of Onamor is, and then we'll have a look at what the lawful summoner version is. Okay, so Onamor's ability is necromancy, and it reads that when an enemy dies, you may place a tomb token in its area, and a tomb token is removed if used or when you desire. So these tomb tokens are essentially a new resource for this character to use for his various powers. So let's have a look at some of the powers that Onamor the necromancer can use. So at level 2, this is a great one, you get skeleton guards. Now if you have no skeleton tokens, you can discard up to 2 of those target tomb tokens to gain the same number of skeleton tokens that I showed you there. And the ability of these skeleton tokens is, before defending, Onamor can discard 1 token to ignore the attack. So you can literally ignore attacks because your skeleton guards take the hit for you. Absolutely love that. Great flavour, great fluff. It's really nice as well that what he's essentially doing, I mean, of course it's the necromancy theme incarnate, when you are making tombs out of things and then doing essentially a resurrection out of it, and then that thing is defending you. And of course this is one of the reasons why, if you love Sword and Sorcery, you love it, because it has these kind of quite brilliant effects in the game that are extremely adept at bringing to life the character. So skeleton guards, really great. You can reanimate dead. Now this is a level 1. Skeleton guards is a level 2 ability, or soul rank 2 I should say. But a soul rank 1 ability, and it's only a single round refresh, is reanimate dead. And this is really clever. I really like how they've done this. You can discard another tomb token to spawn the top enemy from the discard pile in the same area, and then you get to activate that enemy using the matching enemy scroll's behaviour, and you can use that against other enemies. And then at the end of its turn, it drops down dead again, but it doesn't give you any more rewards. And you can do this once every turn. So if you can be in in an adventuring group where you've got some consistent damage dealing, and your partners can get rid of at least one monster per turn, I mean, you're going to regularly be able to have the tomb tokens available to reanimate the dead. I really think this is a really cool ability, just bringing them straight back and having an attack, and especially as it naturally scales. This is your level 1 ability, Soul Rank 1, but it naturally scales because, of course, as you start fighting harder and harder creatures, those enemies are who you're going to be resurrecting. So really cool there, and I think those are probably my two favourites out of that, but some other really good ones. A Corpse Explosion. You can discard a target tomb token. All enemies in its area suffer 1 hit point per soul rank divided by 2, and it gives them poison as well, so that's really, really nice. He's got the classic Drain Life, which we hope every Necromancer would have, which can deal quite a bit of damage. You can even deal lethal 3, and of course you heal hit points equal to the damage dealt. It's not like a half amount or anything like that. And even at level 1, that's rolling a red and 2 blues with a 2-round refresh on it. So I feel like the abilities that they've given Onamor, they really are, if he's playing that evil Necromancer, really do bring to life a classic Necromancer that we would want for, if we're thinking, World of Warcraft, EverQuest, those kind of games, which is a lot of what Sword and Sorcery feels like, then it's really capturing that very, very well. So let's have a look at some of the lawful ones then. So this is the Summoner, and the Summoner is really based around fire, which is why it brings in an Ifrit. Kind of looks like a djinn really, but it's an Ifrit, and the Ifrit itself is quite powerful. He's got some good stat line. He has a movement of 3, he can fly, and he's a djinn of fire. He ignores fire effects, of course, and when he dies he leaves fire behind as well, which is quite nice. He has a good arcane attack. It's a range 2, it does an automatic hit, and it also rolls 1 red and 2 blue. So with some nice little modifiers on there, and they even start having some magic shield on there as well, so that they can have a little bit of defense. And they're also pretty easy to summon for him. He can get them together pretty easily, because he can summon one every other round, as it's only a 2-round refresh on it. So really cool, especially as it's putting out fire, and fire is something that this character really takes advantage of. As an example, here's a really cool spell that he's able to use, which is Wall of Fire. Place a Fire 2 token in at level 1 area, at level 3 it's 2, and at level 5 it's 3 areas. So again, a really nice scaling spell, and Fire 2 token is problematic for enemies to deal with, but here's a really cool ability that he gets at Soul Rank 7, and that is Firestorm. This is really cool. You place 3 Fire 2 tokens in the target area. You bathe the area in fire, then you move all other fire tokens in range, and that's 5, to the targeted area. So if you're thinking about using Wall of Fire and summoning fire tokens anywhere, and using your Ifrit is going to be dropping fire tokens, you summon all of that into a great big conflagration, and then you move one enemy in range over 5 areas to the targeted area. So you draw in all of this flame of fire, massive storm of it, and then chuck an enemy right into the middle of it. So massively powerful and great fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing that go off in one of our games. You can also do a dimensional pit, which sort of draws in enemies and it, almost like a sort of a snare type effect. So Onamor is particularly cool. I really like this character, and of course we've got some really nice an extra couple of miniatures to go with him as well. So he's a good one. So let's have a look now at Victoria. So let's have a talk about Victoria. We've already seen one character, Onamor, that really captures the feel of, well, the class that it's aiming to. You'll find that this is another one that really does. There was lots of oohs and ahs and wows when we were reading through these abilities. So we've got Victoria Chromie, we've got the captain, that's the lawful version, and pirate, you might suspect correctly, is the evil version. So the captain lawful version, her ability is Braveheart. When you kill an enemy, you heal a hit point. That's pretty nice. I like that a lot. Here, as a pirate, you have Pillager. When you kill an enemy, it drops a +5 gold. So very thematic, very nice. I love those two. The pirate can carry more. Pirate Victoria has got an inventory of 3, which is more than Victoria. But these aren't the things we really want to talk about. We really want to talk about their abilities, because of course these are the things that really define them, their powers. Now there are some that are really very, very cool. I think my favourite for lawful Victoria, her standout would be recruitment, which you get at soul rank 3, so it won't take you long. Has a range of 1, and you can target a green or blue enemy and discard 5 gold for each of its remaining hit points, and then you get to activate that enemy using the matching enemy scroll behaviour against other enemies. You quite literally bribe the monster to start fighting for you. So I mean, that's really stand out for me. It's very sea captain-esque, and I love that feel about it. In addition, when she goes to the Emporium, she can spend a bit of extra money to be able to draw treasure cards to use instead of Emporium cards, and she's also got Dancing Lights, which is a fairly standard one, but is a good sort of debuff. So I think quite powerful. One of the things I notice about Victoria is that the specific powers, there's not so many of those, i.e. the lawful or the chaotic evil particular ones, whereas there's actually a large number of the more generic ones. Okay, these are all the generic ones. That's what, 8 generic ones, and they only have 4 of the sort of alignment specific ones. However, the alignment specific ones for the pirate are really great. So for instance, she is able to essentially get better treasure. So after you draw a treasure card, you can pay a bit of extra money at 15 gold per act level to discard that treasure card and draw a new one. So that's really quite cool. And then she's also got corruption, which echoes recruitment but in a slightly different fashion, because she can target a green or blue enemy, discard 10 gold for each of its remaining hit points, and it's just pushed out the game. You remove it from play, and so instead of it fighting for you, you pay that bit extra and you just banish it, you just get rid of it. It's called corruption. I guess they are so paid off, they just run, they flee. So again, really cool, a lovely bit of flavour. But some of these other abilities that are generic to both sides, the pirate or the sea captain, are really cool. So for instance, Sea Wind. Victoria at night can ignore all reaction attacks and hindrances related to the movement, which is really, really smart. You've got the Ecstasy of Gold, which is discard any amount of gold, heal 1 hit point per act to the target hero for every 5 gold discarded. And you can also discard additional 10s to remove one body condition. So really nice that, again, you can be using this money to heal up other characters, essentially. Really nice. I think probably my standout ability from Victoria is this next one, and it is the Ferryman of Souls. And this is, you get this at level 1, it's just an action to use. Suffer 1 hit point, okay. You can use the soul shout of a ghost soul form hero not involved in the quest 1 time, as you call on the long dead spirit of a fallen comrade and have them affect the battle. Now that's level 1, you're going to get that early on, so it's really quite powerful, and you can do that every other round as well. It's got a 2-time refresh on it. So there are some really particularly lovely abilities with Victoria that make her extremely fluffy, but I think there are 2 items that come with her that I also really like. One is called the Compass to Nowhere. This is an artifact. It has 2 charges, and for 1 charge you can apply the otherwise effect of an encounter card that you just drew and ignore the main effect. So that's particularly powerful, of course, as it really can mean you can probably get around scot-free and not have to deal with any enemy attacks. And the other one, this is one of my favourites, the Ancient Coin. Nice coin and a big skull face on it. And when you reach 0 hit points, you roll 3 red dice. And if you roll the Sword and Sorcery icon, you stay alive and you heal a hit point, otherwise you die. It is dicing with death, it is a flip of a coin, and I love the fluff around that. So those are some of the abilities and some of the cool items that Victoria has. And I think, I didn't actually show you the miniatures, there they are. Only get the 2, which is standard, of course. Onamor as a pack that spoils us, but it's a decent sculpt. It's fine, nothing particularly special, and it really is just a picture that's on the front there in the Sword and Sorcery. Quite nice miniatures. I am really excited to get playing with these. These are probably some of the fluffiest incarnations of I guess those kind of character classes that we see in our online MMOs, and so I'm really excited to see how they play through a campaign. So anyway, that's Onamor, and that's Victoria expansions for Sword and Sorcery. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click a like, and as always, please leave comments underneath, and you can always get in touch with me that way as well. Until next time, keep enjoying your gaming.